You did not know Nethack could polymorph into a Quicksilver Ooze? Yeah, isn't that a fun little tidbit? It's pretty wild. Like, I'm shocked on the second change that all we got was a Swamp Dragon. I guess potentially it might reduce the hit dice and then change their form with the Nem card. Couldn't tell you for certain, but regardless, it's a nasty one. Jivia strats. I wonder, I mean, there are too many options, right? Could you abuse the system to try and polymorph things constantly to get a slime army? It would definitely be an interesting thing to try, but I'm highly doubtful that it would work, unfortunately. I do love the idea, though. I think that's super fun. Let's try to get to this stairwell instead here. In fact, we know it's the only one that we haven't ID'd, so that makes it pretty straightforward. And we can just head right that way. Oh, geez. Black Mamba's a tougher fight than I was expecting, for sure. I was thinking we'd get through these Sons of Guns without too much of a care in the world. Okay, that's definitely going to be a curing from me. And... okay. We have a bunch of crap on us, so I wanted to clear our inventory a bit before going in here. But now would be an escape from this fight just continuing to draw itself out, so it seems like it might be a decent idea. At least the wand tells you the options before polymorphing, so you could try it out with that. True. Use Nem cards as Jivia Worshipper is not really an option. No, unfortunately not, but good point on the polymorph. Again, that's one of those wands that I think I got scared off of a lot earlier on. It can still be nice sometimes, like specifically using it even late game against polymorphers. It's always a 100% chance to work and will always change their form. So that's nice when you suddenly have like a Juggernaut coming your way, but definitely don't use the wand too often here. Guess if we had to end up dropping stuff, Ring of Wizardry could potentially go. We have a second Ring of Fire out here, so that could go. Yeah, let's head in. Just so we can fully reset our health. And, okay, Auto Explorer was slightly broken for a moment. Very interesting. There's the Twitching Turquoise Ring. Was that you? It was. So this path has 2 artifact rings in it. Well, if we're able to, I'd definitely love to go that way. Ooh, my gosh. That one also has 2 rings in it. How about that? Just in the final chamber. Okay, so no matter which path we take, we end up with artifact rings. So that's beautiful. This side we have a fire buddy with a freezing weapon. Oh, that's fun. That's very neat and cool of you. Ooh, a reaper is definitely a bit rough. Nethack says pretty high will as well. Does the Nem polymorph bypass will? I believe it does. Because yeah, I don't think there'd be any shot of us polymorphing those Sons of Guns otherwise. Cool. Which I've never really thought of before. Guess you could potentially use those cards to pretty decent effect to, again, polymorph some of those really nasty late game enemies. There's no check at all, and it always works. That seems interesting. But which path do we take here? Another Ring of Protection up that way. How about that? Imagine carefully planning out the Gauntlet path and losing a Minotaur. I don't have to really imagine that. It's happened many a time, I'd say. But yeah, I think this bottom is a bit too rough. Bunch of Death Yaks and a Snail. Versus our single target damage can very easily go off the charts. We're willing to burn through cards. So with that in mind, let's bring y'all over this way. Beautiful. And start working through stuff, shall we? I'd like the protection from fire ring now, seeing as how we might be using it shortly. This is why I wanted to drop stuff outside. Yikes. A Scroll of Torment I probably don't need on this character. Even, I guess, Ring of Flight. Let's drop Ring of Flight for now, and then we can move on from there and see how we feel and what we do. But we get Vitriol. Pain is going to be useless. We get Orb. That works pretty well. And Vitriol once again. And let's just blast one more time for good measure. The Storm finishing off our Death Sickle friend. Holy moly. Well, at least making it through pretty safely so far. We get... Ooh, an interesting ring. Evasion +5, Int +4, Dex +5, and Slay +2. So just like a statted ring. I do kind of like the sound of that. I don't think I'll ever end up using a secondary ring of protection. Actually, probably don't even need the one now that I think about it. We're at 37 AC. Still a holdover from the very start of the game when we found that, I believe on D1, if I recall correctly. Yeah, it's way back when. But yeah, let's put on this new ring, get decent stats across the board. Bit of extra evasion for the protection side of things as well. We'll also switch into our fire protection ring for dealing with this son of a gun. And I guess there's no time like the present. We will use a few more bits of destruction here. And there we go. Vitriol is what I was hoping for. Get that corrosive effect nice and early on in the encounter. And ride that to victory. Beautiful. Ooh, a ring with 2 pips of willpower. Well, that can definitely replace the willpower ring in our pack. Bit of flight, resist electricity as well. Not too shabby. Same here, you sometimes forget to take into account the Minotaur is on every path, so it does not show up when expecting rooms. Fair enough, out of sight, out of mind. There is this Demon Whip. If we take a look, current attack delay at 0.6, 19 damage rating. How does that compare to our current setup? It's faster and more damage, you say? Venom is starting to fall off here, so I think I will actually just take that trade straight up. Get us a bit more damage. I guess the poison will probably be nice against the Minotaur. Maybe I say goodbye to the Lagitang for now. I doubt I'll end up using it anytime soon. If we do end up changing our mind later and switching, decide not to use shields, then we'll have more Lagitangs from Depths enemies. What else? I guess Wand of Flame I could drop for now. Oof. This is going to be a bunch of tough decisions in a row here, and we're not through the thick of it yet. Seeing as how this son of a gun will also cause problems. +4 Scale Mail of the Sea, but no poison resistance on you, so definitely start with Curare, and then let's phone a friend. What do we get? Juvenile Ox Weird Beast, Constricts, and Tramples. Weird mix there, constricting and trampling, but that should work out well. You hold them down and I'll punch the ever-living crap out of them. Beautiful. I would like to pick up these javelins for sure, if at all possible. May a single scroll of poison, not completely necessary. Then we can go with ID here. Oh, 5 potions of haste. I was kind of hoping for heal wounds, but 5 potions of haste is also quite lovely for sure. And what else? Mind Burst. Nah. Morningstar of Protection can be pretty nice. Good damage rating on that. But we'll probably say nay for now. Monster stat block layout also changes dramatically. This is in Trunk that you're talking about. It's way more readable. Very cool. I'm excited for a lot of the changes in Trunk. Definitely think it will be an interesting changeover. Oh, son of a gun. Did the thing where it got distracted and stopped paying attention to our clouds. And I'm just going to tab through the rest of that. Not worrying too much about the calcification. It wasn't really the biggest deal with our armor class. We were feeling pretty solid against that, buddy. But not too shabby here. Out healing all the yaks, even with just our regen. This son of a gun, we mainly have to be on the lookout. If more enemies showed up, then that could very quickly change our interpretation of the encounter. But as is, nothing really to worry about there. And the whip definitely doing some pretty solid work, all things considered. There we go. Now we get our heal wounds potions. We have 3 of those bad boys in our back pockets, so nice options for, you know, when the worst should come to pass and we find ourselves in a sheer panic. We know we have a few different consumable options. That's always lovely. And not too shabby. That should just about do it for layer 3 here. Beautiful. Might as well continue down for now. We'll have to decide if we want to bother testing out layer 5 or if we want to just head back upstairs and maybe finish off the regular dungeon instead. And you know what, if you could come right this way, my dreamy sheep friend. Not too shabby. Not least, we're going to start to pick up all of our stuff here. Ooh, my elephant buddies. What can I do with you? Unfortunately, the dire elephant is a bit of a nasty one. Definitely a pretty huge amount of damage output when they put their mind to it. Ooh, and now it's surrounded by melee and blink frogs. A bunch of fast moving enemies that are going to be jumping around all over the place. I guess I can triple draw from destruction, and oof, I was hoping for storm for sure. But we can throw some pain out. Do I dare try again? Storm me one time? Son of a gun. Doesn't look like it. There is degeneration though. So let's evolve everything here. You know, because it's labeled as degeneration, I think it does actually at least reduce their hit dice while also changing their form. Regardless, didn't really work out for us here. We ended up just surrounding ourselves with a huge array of different damage types. Oh man, this layer 4 is definitely feeling a lot like layer 5. Like deal 4 more. Definitely should have gone for it in retrospect, but regardless, that was looking like a pretty nasty situation. You know, I think I will just get the heck out of Dodge, seeing as how that layer 4 is not treating us very nicely. Let's instead, let's head over to Orc. Let's just get a feel for things here and see how it's going. Definitely looking to be much more manageable so far, but that was a fairly basic selection of enemies. The main thing there is I also was just able to play kind of stupidly and not really get punished for it. Stepping out into the middle of open air there. In which, you know, if we find ourselves in a similar situation in the future, having this axe would be nice to get a bit of cleave damage in, but probably don't need to worry too much about it at the moment here. Better tempo uses 1 card more, but gives 3 effects more. Oh, for sure. It is slightly more piety. No, it's not. I lied. It's less piety. Oh. Well, that's awesome. As long as you have the 8 mana. Yeah. Definitely should have used that. I was getting too fancy with it, where I was like, oh, I'm gonna very strategically try to like just pull the one card I need, Heart of the Cards, but should have just had a bit of faith and gone with draw 4. No, unfortunately, regardless, it wasn't looking too great for us there. The majority of destruction effects are unfortunately single target, except for something like Storm. I guess Wild Magic and Degeneration technically also fit in that category, but definitely a bit weirder or a bit less straightforward of an AoE attack on enemies. But perfect. Can just Stair Dance a wee bit further here to bring all of our new friends up with us, and that should just about do the trick. Oh, hey, Saint Roka. Well, that's interesting. Am I at all equipped to take out Roka? I don't think so. I could just try to spam deal 4s. In fact, with some summons, I can probably get away with it. Specifically, some summons and some destruction. A healthy mix, as it were. 200 health. I'm so tempted to try, so I think we're gonna give it a shot here and just see how it goes. But okay, we get destruction, we get storm. If pain works, and then a couple blasts of acid. Okay, well that's pretty wonderful stuff. Then we'll go 2 draws from summoning. Oh, and we do get archers. What else can I do here to try and assist? I don't want to get off the stairs necessarily, because it'd be nice if I could just help out from afar here and get it all working. I guess I could leave my allies to take care of Roka, and I can instead focus on the ogre, and it just works. Holy. Mighted Orc Warrior could have been a pain in the rear, but man, these archers are just a little bit too overpowered for our new friends to deal with, and in fact we can kind of just let them also take care of the High Priest while we're at it. Beautiful. And I'm sure there's still some more annoying enemies for us to deal with here, but that takes out a hefty chunk of the tougher Sons of Guns. Should also probably have double checked. Paralyze at 16%. Not too bad. Oh, let's increase our evasion with Acrobat and start getting the heck out of dodge. In fact, I shouldn't be waiting out turns when I have throwables. I should instead be using those. Beautiful. Deal 4 also helps with that, even if you draw 4 single targets. It's not single target anymore, in a way. And yeah, we will be making a stack soon here. Guess we could right away if we wanted. I never know what I want to take from with this, though. It's probably a decent idea to get. I guess I could go all defensive, and then it just gives me a bit more of a sure thing when we do draw escape in the future. I'm trying to think of what I've done in the past. Usually it's a bit of a weird mix of destruction and escape, but summoning is always pretty solid, so don't worry too much about it. Don't let us. Okay, we get Tomb, Elixir, Cloud, and Tomb. Let's see what the last one is. Another Cloud. So the Tomb is definitely nice to have right at the top. So we just know that that is an option and is what's going to happen when we need a break, or we need to, you know, wait for a teleport scroll to proc or something like that. Well, let's just switch those two to make a nice little symmetrical sandwich, shall we? Tomb, Cloud, Elixir, Cloud, Tomb. Sure, why not? Am I done? Yes, I would say so for now. You like escape because summon and destruction, you pretty much know what you're getting anyway. Right, the defensive is such, or like covers such a wide array of options that it's definitely a nice idea to check things out for. And +7 glaive of distortion with, again, just more willpower. Seems like that's the name of the game at this point. Every single artifact and magical item we find in this run is going to be somehow tied to increasing willpower, but that's fine.